So for today's video, I just want to talk about a roll that I saw just last night. It was pretty crazy roll. It was about 30 rolls of the dice, and time-wise, normally that would be about a 25 to 45 minute or 25 to 35 minute roll. In this case, it was approximately 20 minutes or so, just because of the types of bets that were on the table. So I don't have the roll in order, nor do I have every single number. There were only 4 numbers that stuck out of my head that I actually tracked how many times they hit. And I'm going to do a couple of things. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how a couple different strategies would have worked with these numbers. And then secondly, I want to show you how the table looked, how the bets were set up by the end of the roll. It's pretty disappointing. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take the 4 numbers that I know exactly how many times they rolled, and we're going to do those with a couple of different strategies. Now, the first thing is one of the players had a bunch of improper bets, and let me see if I can remember. And it was set up basically this way, although he actually did not have, nobody had a 10 bet. So he had a bunch of improper bets, and they were set up this way. Now, this was a $10 minimum bet table. Now, the maximum bet for the table was $2,000. Okay, so 2,000, 2,000, 24, 24. All right. So we're going to look at this, and I'm going to go over these numbers as if, whoops. I'm just going to go over these numbers just as they, the number of times they rolled, and show you what could have happened with them. All right, so this is what the player started out with. Greens. He did have improper bets. All right, so he started out with greens, and actually, let me slide these over. A couple other people had 1 or 2 minor bets, but again, I want to show you what could have happened with this roll. Then I want to show you how it actually went down. Now, I'm going to show this to you in a power press, a mid press, a power press, and a mid press, just to show you. Okay. So, and I'm going to go down the line. So, one of the numbers, 5. Now, the 5 rolled a total of 6 times. He rolled quite a few 5s. So let's take a look at this. So if we're starting out with a power press, then of course they're going to add. Now, I'm going to do a power press. I'm going to do a standard power press. So in some cases, there will be more money thrown in. Right? So power press, they're going to stack everything up. So quarter is going to go up to 60. Now, 60 is going to pay 84. This is a case where the second time it rolls, they're going to throw in another $6, and they're going to go up to 150. Now, the third time it rolls, this is where they start to collect a little bit. They only collect $10, right? And since they already threw in $6 more, we're just going to say they collected 4 right there. Okay? So, let's see, they went up to 60, then they went up to 150. Now they're going up to 350 after the third hit. So, the fourth hit is going to pay $490, right? $490. Now, this is a spot typically where the power presser is actually going to slow their power press down and just go up to 500. Okay. So that was the 4th hit. On the 5th hit, they're going to go up to 1,000, and they're going to collect their $200. And on hit number 6, they're going to go up to 2,000, and they're going to collect their $400. Okay. Notice when you're starting out with a green, you're already starting a beat ahead. You're basically starting 1 roll ahead of the lower level players. So, starting out with a power press, this player would have made $944. Now, what about a mid-press method? Okay, well, the first hit, go to 35. Okay. The second hit, going to go to 50. Third hit will go to 75. Hit number 4, it's probably going to go to 1 1/4. Hit number 5, this is the point where they're typically going to go all the way up. Hit number 5. So then hit number 6. Take it up to 500. There we go. So a mid-press player starting out with a green would have collected up $379. Now, if it were somebody starting out at $10, they're going to be a beat behind. They're not going to make it up to table max. Right? This player initially will go to a quarter, which is where this player started at. So their very first roll, they go up to a quarter. And then from there, they start pressing themselves up. So they would have made it up to the $1,000 mark. So if you take 400 out, because that's what they would have collected, that's what this player collected in the additional hit, that's how this player would have finished. So a player starting out at $10 would have actually finished with $544. Not too shabby. Now, the mid-press player is actually starting 2 beats behind the player that started out with a quarter, because they're not throwing in additional money. This player threw in $1 to go to a quarter right away. So this player goes from 10 to 15, then to 25. So they're actually 2 beats behind this player. So they're going to make significantly less, but they're still going to make money. They're still going to make money. Now, the 8 was a crazy one also, where it rolled 6 times. Okay. Now, similar to the 5, power presser is going to get up, but the power presser is not going to make it to table max. So they're going to collect a few blacks here and there at the spots where they don't quite power press, but actually go to a simpler number that makes a little bit more sense. This player is going to collect a little bit more just because they are in their mid press. They collect some and don't collect another. So the first roll, this player goes to 54. Second roll, this player is, as a power presser, likely going to go to something that's kind of going to make a little bit of sense and actually collect up a little bit. So they're going to go to 90. Okay. Now the third roll, take it up to 180. Now the fourth roll, $360. So that's 4 rolls. 4 rolls, they're up to $360. $360 pays $420. All right, so on roll number 5, this is where they're going to back it down, and they're just going to go to something that makes sense. Likely $600. So roll number 5, they're going to go to $600. And then roll number 6, they go to $1,200. So, $352. Would have made $352. Now the mid-press player starting out at an improper bet to begin with, a mid-press player in this instance getting paid their $29. Now chances are, if you're a mid-press player, you're not starting out at an improper bet. I do know power pressers will start out with a green on the 6 or 8 because you can immediately go all the way up to 54, which is a bet that makes some sense. So in this case, they'll go up to 42. That's hit number 1. Hit number 2, they go to 60. Hit number 3, go to 90. Hit number 4, go to 150. Hit number 5, go to 300, and then hit number 6, go up to 600. So a mid-press player starting out with that improper bet would still end up with over $200 just off of that one number. Now, this player is starting out a beat behind this power presser. But with the proper bet, they're going to go straight from 12 to 30, and then it's going to change things a little bit, but they're still likely going to end up at the same spot of 1,200, or they're going to end up at 600, possibly 900. Definitely no higher. Between 900 to 1,200. They're not going to make as much, but they're still going to make a little bit. Now, this mid-press player is starting out roughly 2 beats behind this player. So they're still going to make a little bit of money. I'm going to skip the 9 for a second. So that's where things got really crazy. Now, the 10, I'm not going to play this 10 out because there weren't that many 10s that rolled. But what was crazy about it was that we had 3 hard 10s back to back to back. That's why the 10 sticks out of my head. There were 3 hard 10s back to back to back. There were a total of 4 10s rolled. Total of 4 10s rolled, which means that nobody was even going to hit table max. You know, the closest might be this player up to 75, then they're probably going to 200, then they're probably going to 500, then they're going to 1,000. So they would have been at $1,000. Where it got crazy is the 9. The 9 rolled a whopping 10 times. 10 times. Let's look at how 10 hits of the 9 would play out, both with the bets that the player had and with the lower end bets, because the player did start out with a green on the 9. So, again, we are in the power press. 60, right? Throw in another $6 to go to 150. That's hit number 2. Hit number 3. Go to 350. Made $4 profit. Hit number 4. It's going to pay $4.90. We'll pay $5.90 for 100. Go up to 1,000. Hit number 5. Or I'm sorry, go up to 4. 500. Hit number 5. Go up to 1,000. Collect the 200. Hit number 6. Collect your 400. Go up to 2,000. Hit number 7. Collect your 2,800 because you are at table max after 6 hits. So hit number 7. Collect your 2,800. Hit number 8. Collect your 2,800. Hit number 9. Collect your 2,800. And hit number 10. Collect your 2,800. Starting out where this player started out, a power presser would have finished with $12,119. $12,119. What about a mid-presser? Okay, well, mid-presser, hit number 1, go to 35. Hit number 2, go to 50. Number 3, go to 75. Number 4, go to 150. Number 5, go to 350. Yeah. Or possibly 250. In fact, likely 250 on hit number 5. Likely going to go to 250. Hit number 6 is where they're going to go to 350. hit number 7, go to 500. Now, this is where it gets interesting. For hit number 8, now some mid-pressers at this point, they're up so much, they're just going to power press. But others, not so much. So we'll say this player on hit number 8 goes to 750, okay? Hit number 9, now they'll go to 1,000. And then hit number 10. Now at this point, they're likely to go to 2,000, because when you're one hit away from table max, you're probably just going to go there. So even somebody starting out with a mid press is going to make $2,524. $2,524. This player is going to, as a mid-presser starting out at $10, is going to make less, but is still likely going to clear over $1,000. The power presser starting at the table minimum is going to hit table maximum on the 7th roll, which means that while they're not going to collect $12,000, they are going to collect about $8,000, starting with a $10 bet. Okay? That is the reason why people do the power press. They're hoping for one number that beats the statistical likelihood. This one blew it out of the water. Really, if you're a power presser, you're just hoping one number rolls 7 or 8 times. You're definitely blown away when a number rolls 10 times. 10 times and you're just making insane money. Now, I promised you guys that I would show you how the table looked at the end of this roll. So, I'm going to start out with this side of the table and how their bets looked at the end of the roll. How did their bets look at the end of the roll? So, let me go ahead and clean this up. And there you go. That is how their bets looked at the end of the roll. Not a single person on this side of the table had any place bets. Not a one. Once the players, after this roll ended and a few other rolls happened, once players started coloring up, nobody on this side of the table bothered to color up, because even though they just caught a monster roll, the kind of roll that people that play dice a lot are actually hoping to catch and trying to catch, they actually didn't make anything. So they ended up losing all their money because they didn't make anything. They didn't make anything, so they had no exit strategy, no exit point, no winning condition of theirs. They were just on the dice table just to be on the dice table, just killing time and wasting money. Now, this side of the table. Told you this player started out with something like this. I actually don't think he had a 5. I think he had 6, 8, 9. How did he finish? At the end of his roll, that's where he was at. On the 5th 9 that rolled at $25, the other players on his side were basically begging him to press, so he finally pressed at 25. And then he pressed at 25, the next hit after that, next hit after that, and then stopped pressing it and left it at $100. It was just sad. I just showed you how even a mid-press player would make thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars on a roll like this, and whereas a power presser would have made over $12,000. The biggest winner on this table was about $600 after this 30-minute roll. So it was absolutely insane and almost painful to watch. So for today's video, I want to shoot something that was sent to us via email by one of our fans. They had been watching a video, another channel or something along those lines, with a roll that turned out really well, and it ended up being somewhere around 55, 56 rolls without a 7. I took a look at the rolls, and it almost came out perfectly smooth as far as the probabilities of numbers coming out. Nothing really seemed to jump out that happened more than it should have, except possibly a couple of the horn numbers. But they were curious because they said the players started out, they were at about a $500 bankroll when the roll started. He said when it finished, they made about $4,000. The most any of them made was about $4,000. So he was curious at how it would have worked with a power press method. So what I want to do is I want to go ahead and, he sent us the rolls, and I want to go ahead and go through these rolls. And I'm actually going to do it with 3 different things. Because he said some of them were playing green, some of them were playing $10 minimum. So I'm going to assume it's a $10 to $2,000, $10 minimum, $2,000 maximum bet. And we'll take a look at it, and we're going to do a mid press, a power press, and a power press starting with green. So we have an opportunity to look at my 2 favorite methods, the mid press and the power press, and then we can analyze the power press based off of a minimum and based off of starting at green, since he said some of the players were starting off at green. So we're just curious to see how it goes. Now, due to the constraints of the video, I'm going to probably go through the payouts relatively quickly, but just to see if I can keep this under 20 minutes. If not, well, sorry, it'll be a little longer than 20 minutes. So if everyone started out with 500, then two people went 64 across, which would have been including the point, and one person went 160. So these ones have their change of $436 left over, and this person would have $340 left over. So let's go ahead and set that up. And okay, so let's take a look at the roll. So it starts out with a 4. So they mark the 4. Nobody's going to get paid because this is where you're going to go across with your points. So then the next roll is a 9. So I said this first player was going to be a mid-press player. So they're going to press up $5 and collect the other $9. Next up is a power press player. So they throw in a quarter, or they throw in $1, and they go up to a quarter. And then we've got this power press player that's going to get paid $35, and they're going to stack it all the way up to $60. So then the next roll is a 10. So this player's a mid-press player. They'll throw in $1, go up to a quarter. We'll just take it up to 15. Most mid-press players would go up to a quarter at this point, but we'll just take it up to 15, just for ease. Okay. Next, we've got the power presser. So the power presser would throw in the $1. We don't have the $1 here, so we're just going to do it this way. And they're going to go all the way up. They go all the way up to 30. The next player will throw in their $1 to get paid. Throw in 5 to get paid 54. Go all the way up to 75. That's the power presser right there. So then was a winner 4. So same thing. Mid-press players. Mid-press player is going to throw in $1. They're going to go up to 15, collect the rest. Power press player is going to throw in $1. They're going to go up to 30. Other power press player is going to throw in $1 and go up to 75. So we unmarked the point. So now the 9 rolls. Now nobody gets paid here because it was a come out roll. Most people aren't going to be working on the come out roll. So the next roll is a 5. So once again, we've got a mid press player. So they're going to collect $9 and go to 15. Power press player over here is going to throw in $1 so that they can go to a green. And the other power press player is just going to stack everything up so they go up to 60. So next rolls a 4. Mid press player is going to throw in $1 so that they can go up to a quarter and collect the other 20. This player is going to throw in, power press player is going to throw in $2. They're going to go all the way up to 90. Their power press player is going to throw in 5 so they can get paid $151. And they would go all the way up to 200. Okay, they're actually going to collect a little bit at this point. So they're at 200. So next would come an 8. Sorry, I'm trying to keep track of these rolls so I know where I'm at. Next comes an 8. So mid-press player is going to press 1 unit, collect the rest. Power press player throws in $1 or throws in 5, collects $1. They go up to 30. Other power press player throws in $1. They go up to 66. So that's an 8. So then we have a 5. So on a 5, the mid-press player is going to collect $11. They're going to go up to a green. Power press player goes up to 60. Other power press player, now this is where it's going to get a little bit interesting because they collect $84. Okay? And that leaves them right here. They're going to go up to 125. And they're going to collect some. that actually can't have been correct. I must have paid that wrong. They would have been at 60. They would have gotten paid $84. So then they have, there we go. I knew it was off. So they'll throw in $6 and go to 150. That's where I thought it was supposed to go. I made a mistake in there somewhere, because from 60 you generally go up to 150. All right, so from the 5, after that, a 4 rolls. So first player throws in $1. They're a mid-press player, so they're going to press it a quarter. Power press player is going to owe likely $4. Okay, so that's going to pay $186. So we're just going to go ahead and pay out $186. First, let me get some green here. I'm going to pay out $186. And let's see what they've got to work with. $275 to work with. $250. I'm going to power press it up to $250. The player at $200. Oops, that was the wrong way. Over there. The player sitting at $200 is going to get paid $390. Go to 5. So they collect the rest. That was a 4. After that, the 6 came. Now on the 6, the mid-press player is going to go up to 18. Get some of these aces back. And perfect. So mid-press player goes up to 18. Power press player would throw in $4 and go up to 30. Other power press player is going to throw in $1 so that they can take it up to 66. Next came a 12, didn't matter. Next came a 6. So on the 6 roll, so the mid-press player here is now going to go up to 30. They're going to collect the rest. Keep this nice and clean as best I can. Now the power press player here throws in $1 so that they can go up to 66. Player over here would throw in $7. They're going to get 3 change. This bet goes up to 150. Next came a 3, which did nothing. After that came another 6. Now at this point, the mid-press player would want to throw in $2. So they throw in a 5 so they can collect the green. And they go up to 42. Very common press there. Meanwhile, the power press player over here throws in the $7 necessary to take their bet up to 150. The other power press player is going to collect the green. Their bet goes up to 300 because they started out in the greens already. So they're going to be a beat ahead. Next comes a 5. So mid-press player here will throw in $1 to take their bet up to 36. Power press player here is going to throw in the $6. So we'll throw that in, collect 4, in order to take their bet up to 150. Other power press player here is going to take their bet up to 350, collect 10. The next roll after that is an 8. So this player right here goes up to 30 because they're mid-pressing, so they still want to collect a little bit. Player here throws in the $1 so that they can go to 66. This player throws in the $7 necessary to go to 150. And after this 8 came another 8. 8s do 10, 6s and 8s because of the frequency tend to come up pretty often. So they throw in $2, they collect, go to 42. This player right here throws in $7, so they go up to 150. This player right here is going to collect a green and go up to 300. After this 8 came another 5. Now, this player that's at 36 is just going to swap bets. They go to 50. player that's at 150 is going to collect 10. They're going to go to 350. This player that's at 350, they are going to collect, we're going to make this a little bit easier. They're going to collect 515 for a quarter. Take that quarter out. They're going to go up to 800. Collect the rest. Next came a 4. This is going to pay 98. Now it's a mid-press player, likely going to go to 100 on this and collect the rest. Power press player here, they are sitting on 250. That's a $12 VIG. Okay, so we'll do this. They'll throw in a green, collect 13 change. So they get their VIG. So their VIG is paid off. It pays 500. Stack it up because we're power pressing. Over here, 500. 500 would be a $25 VIG. So it pays $975. Gonna make it look like 1500. The next roll after that was a winner 9. Now, mid-press player here would collect $11, go to a green. As we know, power press player that started at table minimum $10 is going to go up to 60. Other power press player would throw in $6. We'll take this green and give 19 change, just to make it easy. It's going to throw in $6 so they can take their bet up to 150. And now we're in a come-out roll situation. So they had a 3, then they had a winner 7, neither of which are really going to affect these players any. After that, they mark the point as 8. Nobody's getting paid here because, again, it's a come-out roll. We're not working. So then a 6 rolls. So we've got our mid-press player here that's a 42. So they're going to go up to 60. Then we've got our player over here, the power press player. They're going to collect 1 green so that they can take their bet up to 300. This player that's at 300 is going to collect 2 greens and go up to 600. That's 6. After that was a winner 8. So this shooter was doing really well. So the mid-press player, 42, is going to go to 60, as we've already done a couple times. Whoa. And as we know, the 150 is going to collect a green, go to there. And we know the 300 is going to collect 2 greens and go to 600. And we are back to another come-out roll situation. So the 9 rolls. And once again, nobody's getting paid because it was a come-out roll and people weren't working on the come-out rolls, most likely. Clean some of this up. Okay, so we are at a point of 9. Now a 2 came, doesn't really do anything for anybody. Next came a 4. So the mid-press player throws in $5. They press up 100, they collect 100. Very common with mid-press players. The power press player over here has a $37 VIG. Yeah, they just so happen as to have 37 free bucks. So they have a $37 VIG. They get paid $1,500. And like most power presses, they're going to go to table max because that's the entire goal of a power press. Get to table max as fast as you can. They got there. The other power press player, now this is a $75 VIG. He's got $75 right here. So with that 75, he gets paid $3,000. Press up to table max of 2,000. Next came a 3 and then 2 12s, so no harm, no foul on those rolls. Next came 2 6s. So the first 6 comes, and we've got this mid-press player here, so they're going to get paid 70. They'll go up to 90. This power press player over here will collect $50, and they're going to go up to 600. This other power press player is going to collect 100. They're going to go up to 1,200.
So then the next 6 comes out, and whoops, I forgot to put the cap on. And this mid-press player, now at this point, some mid-press players will go to 120. I usually will go to 150 from here. Collect the rest. This player collects 100 as a power presser. This power presser collects 200. And here's the thing. Now this player is at table max. And this player is only 1 roll away. That's the beauty of the power press. So the next roll is a 12, does nothing. So then a 10 comes. So this player will throw in $1. Go up to a quarter. So this player has gone up to a quarter, this mid-press player. So now this power press player, they have a $2 vig. So they throw their $2 in. And they go all the way up to 90. This player right here is a $4 vig. So they'll go ahead and throw it on in. So they get paid 150. They're going to collect a green. They're going to go up to 200. Next comes a winner 9. Mid-press player would throw in $1, go up to 36. Power press player is going to throw in $6. I'm going to go up to 150. The other power press player that is a beat ahead of them has their 210. They go up to 350, collect $10, and we're back to another come out roll. Next, they mark the 5. Now, as usual, nobody's getting paid here because it was a come out roll. After that comes an 11, no big deal. Then comes an 8. So on an 8, mid-press player will go up to 90. Power press player here collects $50, goes to 600. This power press player that is a beat ahead because they started in the greens is going to go up to 1200. And the next roll after that is a winner. So they throw a winner. So this player that's sitting at 50 is going to go to 75. It's again mid-pressing. This player that's sitting on 350, so they're going to get paid $490. We're going to pay it $515 for 25. We're going to go up to 800. They're going to collect $40. Now this player over here is at 800. So what does 800 pay? 1120. Because 500 pays 700. 30 pays 420. Or 300 pays 420. So they're going to get paid $1,120. What do they have here? They have 920. They're going to throw in the 100 that would be necessary to bring themselves up to, or the 80 rather, that would be necessary to bring themselves up to table max. Because when you're that close, you're going for table max. Next was a winner 7, did nothing, no big deal whatsoever to that one. And then they mark the 9, and as usual, nobody gets paid because it's a come-out roll. So the next roll was an 8. What am I doing? So, mid-press player goes up to 150, collects the rest. Power press player collects 100, goes up to 1200. Other power press player collects 200, goes up to table max at 2400. So the power press player that started out at green, you notice already has 4 numbers that are at table max. The power press player that started out at table minimum, $10, has 4 numbers that are close, that look like they're 1 beat away from table max. So next comes a 6. So this player that's at $150, right, they're going to get paid $175. So they're going to get paid $200 for a quarter, collect the green, go up to 300. At this point, mid-press players are going to collect a small bit still, but they're going to try and press on, press hard. They're already up, and they're already up quite a bit. Other player collects their 200 and is going to go to table max. Start getting myself a little bit of change here. So this other player gets paid $2,800. They throw in $200 and they'll take $3,000 because they're already at table max. They can't do anything else. They could start doing come bets and such, but I don't start doing put bets quite yet. Next, an 8 rolls. So once again, this player is going to collect a green so that they can go up to 300. This player is going to collect 200 and go up to table max. This player right here is going to throw in 200 and collect 3,000 because they, again, are already at table max. Next came an 11, no harm, no foul. And then, guess what? Another 8. So this player right here, the mid-press player, collects 50, goes up to 600. This power press player will throw in 200 so they can collect their 3,000. So they started out at table minimum, $10, and they're already collecting max bets. So then this player collects their 2,800. Next came another 11, no big deal. Then came a 10. So with a 10, this is going to pay $49. They'll throw in a 5 so they can get paid 54. They're going to go to 50. This right here, they're going to need $4 for their vig, maybe 5, but most places are going to charge 4. $4 for their vig so they can collect $180. Go to 250, collect the rest. This player's at 200, they throw in their $10. Make it 110 so that they can collect a purple. They get their 500, and they're actually slightly off from the other side. I may have pressed the 4 slightly differently, but going up to 700. Oh no, I'm sorry, they would go up to 600. Yeah, that's where they would go. They would go up to 600. Just wanted to collect the purple, that's what I did. Then, lo and behold, another 8 rolls. So at this point, a mid-presser is unlikely to do something small. They're either going to go to 1,200 at this point, they're just now power pressing, or they may go to 900. Kind of depends. So they're going to get paid 700. Let's just say they go to 900. Let's just say they keep it small. They're still playing a little scared with their money. So they only go to 900. The other power presser is already at table max, so they throw in 2,000. So that they can collect, or 200, so they can collect 3,000. And this power presser, we're going to have them throw in 2,200 so they can collect 5,000. Just to make it a little bit easier. So they collect 5,000. Next roll comes a 5. So this player gets paid 105. Now they're way up, so most of the time they're going to go ahead and press up. They still want to collect, but they're going to press themselves up. Now this player that's at 800, well, we already covered this, pays 1,120, right? 1,120. They throw in the $80 necessary to bring themselves up to table max. Now this other player is already at table max, so they're going to get paid $2,800. Let's throw in 3,000 so they can get paid $5,800. Next came a 10. $2 vig. Collect your 50, press up to 100. Sitting at 250 right there, so a $12 vig. To get paid 500, go all the way up. Sitting at 600 right here. So that is I know I did a different press than the other one, but that's okay. This is going to be a $30 vig, so they can get paid $1,200. They'll throw in necessary to get the table max because at this point they're way up. They already have 4 numbers at table max, so throwing in a few $100s is nothing. In fact, there's a real good chance that somewhere in there, if I was playing this, I would have, instead of collecting on one of these, I would have brought the 9 up to table max. But that's just me. That's just how I play. So the next roll was a 12, did nothing. So next came a 5. So the mid-press player, likely at this point, there's a couple different ways they can go, but let's just say they only bring it up to 300. They play it a little bit conservative. Now this power press player, they're going to throw in $2,200 so that they can get paid $5,000 because they're getting paid $2,800. They're already at max bet, so why not? And same thing with this player. They throw in $2,200 and get paid $5K. Next roll, a 6. So this player that's at 300 is going to collect 50. They're going to go up to 600. Everybody else is, again, at table max. So throw in 3,000 so you can get paid 5,800. And throw in 2,200 for 5,000. Next roll, wow, 8. So this player right here is going to get paid 1,050. So they get paid 1,050. Likely going to press it up to 1,200 because they're playing conservative. This player right here throws in the 2,200 necessary to get paid with a $5,000 chip. This player right here happens to have the 2,200 necessary to get paid with a $5,000 chip. And then the next roll, 7 out. 7 out, wipes the board, cleans it all up. They lose all their money they have on the table, which some people get real bent out of shape about, but if you don't have money on the table, then you weren't really trying to bet. You weren't really trying to win. So let's clean this up first as if it was a 7 out, because it was. And then we will take a look at how everybody did. All right, so 7 out came. Clean up the table. At this point, we've very likely got some players that are getting ready to color up. So let's take a look at what we've got here. $500, $600, $700 right there. So we'll do 3 for 1,000. And the mid-press player, the player that was playing conservative versus the others on this roll, colors up $2,612. $2,612. Starting with 64 across including. Started with 64 across including. If they were starting at a higher level, like if they were starting in the green, this player very likely would have made $5,000, $6,000, $7,000. It'd be a lot closer to where they probably wanted to be. Now, let's take a look at the power presser who started off with 64 across, who started off at table minimum. Power presser who started off at table minimum has $15,368. $15,368. They started out at $64 across, $10 per number, 12 on the 6 and 8. Started out at table minimum, $15,368. The power press player that started out in the green has $25,600, actually $25,707. $25,707. Start out with 160 across including. This is why power pressers exist. Especially because power pressers will typically operate on a confined, constrained budget. I'm only going to play with $500. Okay, I'm only going to play with $500. I catch a single roll like this, and I colored up $25,000. What that means is you have to catch one of these every 50 times you play in order just to break even, and that's unlikely to happen. But that's what's so exciting about this, and really every strategy in the long haul loses. The whole point behind strategies is to attempt to win when you catch the fantastic roll, try and maximize your winnings. So there you go, mid-press, power press starting at table minimum, and even starting at table minimum, colored up over $15,000 on this roll. Player that started out at 160 across, kind of in the mid, colors up over $25,000. So I hope you guys find this interesting. Thank you very much to the viewer that sent it. So for today's video, we're going to do the second of the real rolls that I managed to memorize so that I could write them down and show them to you guys. And
to showcase why some of these strategies are built the way they are built. When it comes to the mid-press method, and especially the power press method, as we always say, we're not looking for the statistical likelihood of these numbers to roll. Like, for instance, the power press, if you went with the pure statistical likelihood, you pretty much need a 45-minute to an hour-long roll in order to hit table max. Those rolls come once every couple of months to accrue. What you're really looking for is you're looking for that roll that breaks the statistical likelihood. You're looking for that exceptional roll, which any roll that goes over 15 or goes over 6 rolls without a 7 is already breaking the statistics. You're looking for that roll where it not only breaks the statistical likelihood, but actually has one particular number, 1 or 2 numbers that really break that. And these kind of things happen every single night. We have so many rolls that are 12 to 15 minute long, so they're good rolls. They're really good rolls. Maybe once an hour, once every hour and a half, we have a 12 to 15 minute long roll going on on our table. And what we're hoping for is within that roll, we have one number that hits multiple times, far more than it should have. And if that happens, that's where these strategies really shine. So this roll that I'm about to show you guys happened the other night, last night actually for me, and it was only 20 rolls. So it was about 12 or 13 minutes, because what I'm showing you here, these strategies here, were not being played. The players on the table, some of them had a few place bets, some of them had nothing, or maybe a come bet or two. So basically with this roll, I can tell you this, with this roll and with the last roll that was in the other video I shot for you guys, nobody won more than about $150 on any of these on either one of the rolls. So I'm going to show you how an iron cross player would have managed it, how a mid-press player that's starting out with table minimum would have managed, how a mid-press player starting out in the green would have managed, how a power presser starting out at table minimum would have managed, and how a power presser starting out in the green would have managed. So this is how this roll went. And I'm going to try and speed this up a little bit so I don't have to cut it short like I did on the last video. So come out roll, point established was a 6. So then a 9 rolled. So we had our iron cross player here. So they made $10. Okay. Now we've got our mid-press player. So the mid-press player is going to press it up 1 unit. Now the other mid-press player that's getting paid $35 is going to press it up $10. Power presser would throw in $1 and they would go up to a quarter. The other power presser, starting in the green, is going to go all the way up to 60. So the next roll after that was an 8. So the iron cross player loses there, wins 21, so they win $11 total, okay? The mid-press player is going to press it up 1 unit. So they're going to go up to 18. This other mid-press player right here is going to make $23 because they are going to press it up to 42. They could throw in $2 and collect a green, but since I didn't have one sitting out there, we'll just do it that way. The power press player would throw in $4 and they would take their bet all the way up to 30. The other power press player starting in the green would throw in $1 and they would take their bet all the way up to $66. So after that 8 rolled was a winner 6. Okay, so winner 6. So all these players, again, iron cross player is collecting $11. Mid press player is collecting right there, it's collecting right there. Kind of fumble fingered that one. The other mid-press player would throw in $2. They throw in $2, and they're going to press up to 42. Power press player would throw in $4 to go up to 30. Other power press player would throw in $1 and go up to 66. So that was at the winner. So next was a 6 once again established. Now the iron cross player probably would not have their field on the come out. So then they placed their field, and we immediately had another winner 6. So again, iron cross player makes $11 after replacing their field bet. Mid-press player that's sitting on an $18 bet is likely going to go up, because they're mid-pressing, they're likely going to go up to 30 and collect a little bit there. The other mid-press player is going to go up to 60 and collect a little bit. Power press player would throw in $1
go up to 66. This power press player would throw in $7. They would go up to 150. So now after the second winner, that's right, I remember this roll now. They once again had a 6 as the point. This was pretty fun. And what happened next were 2 8s in a row rolled. So $11. This player going up to 30. This mid-press player going up to 60. Power press player that started at table max would throw in another $1. This power press player would throw in $7, go up to 150. And then the next 8 that rolled, once again, iron cross player makes $11. Mid-press player would throw in $2. Since we don't have $2 sitting in their little kitty, we'll go ahead and just pay him 23. So they're going up to 42. Now this mid-press player right here is going to go from 60 to 90 is what most would do. Most would go from 60 to 90. This power press player right here would throw in the $7 in order to bring their bet up to 150. Now the player that's at 150, they're not going to have to throw in any money at this point because they're actually going to collect a green. Now they've already thrown in some, but they're actually slightly in the positive at this point, but it's pretty tight, pretty close. So after that 8 came a 5. So iron cross player once again makes $11. Mid press player throws in $1, press it up, 1 unit. Other mid press player would go to 36. Power press player would throw in $1. Other power press player would go up to 60. After that 5 came, oh yeah, this is where it got interesting. 3 8s in a row. Now I remember this because the shooter had bet the 4, the 5, and the 9. And they are throwing a ton of 8s. And then this one's 3 8s in a row. After they threw the third 8, they put a $12 8 down. So iron cross player makes the first one right there. So now this mid press player would go to 60, and they would collect a little bit. This mid press player is very likely going to go to 120. They might go to 150 on this. I'll be honest. If I was playing the mid press, and I do that sometimes, I would have gone to 150. But we'll just say the 120. So this player is going to collect their green. This is the power press player that started out at table minimum. They go up to 300. This power press player is going to collect $50 because they're going to take their bet up to 600. Then another 8 came. So once again, iron cross makes $11 in profit. Mid press player is going to go up to 90. I'm running out of some reds here, so mid press player will go up to 90. Come on now. Player that's at 120 would go up to 150, so they're going to collect. Mid-press player collects. This player collects $50. They go up to 600. This power press player collects 100. They go up to 1200. And then the third 8 came in a row. Made their $11 right there for the iron cross player. Mid press player goes up to 120. Now at this point, most mid press players are actually just going to collect the green and go up to 300. At this point, most mid pressers are up and are willing to go for. Mid pressers turn into power pressers once they are up a few blacks. Because if they're already mid pressing, they have a tendency to just go for it. Power press player will collect 100, go to 12. The other power press player that started out in the green will collect 200. And they will go up to table max 2400. So that was the third one. Next came a winner 6. So everybody's going to get paid here. It's not going to be all of them. Well, it's some of them. So we've got $11 going to the iron cross player. mid-press player is going to throw in $2. They're going to take their bet up to 42. And the other mid-press player will go up to 90. Power press player would throw in $7. Go up to 150. Power press player that started out in the greens is going to collect a green and go up to 300. So that was a winner 6. So after that, the point was 4. The point got established as a 4. And a 10 rolled, so the iron cross player received their $10. Mid-press player, some would go up to a quarter, some are only going to press 1 unit. So we'll just press it 1 unit. Other mid-press player would throw in a green, and they would go up to 50. They would collect their green. I'm going to swap a couple of these out. It's 2 greens. Greens. Now, power press player over here is going to throw in $1. And power press player over here would throw in $1. I guess I'll just do this, even though we weren't really keeping track of the other ones that they threw. They would go up to 75. Swap a couple of these out real fast. That should be good enough. So after that 10 came, oh, lo and behold, an 8. So iron cross player makes their $11 after they lose the field and get paid. Mid-press player would go collect black and go up to 150. Other mid-press player would collect 50 and go up to 600. Power press player that started at table minimum would collect 200 and go up to 1400. And the power press player that is at 24 is going to just get paid 2800. So we'll pay them 3000 for 200 because they're already at table max. So next came a 6. So once again, iron cross player makes the $11. Mid press player will go up to 60. Other mid press player will go up to 20. Power press player will collect a green, go up to 300. And other power press player will collect 50 and go up to 600. And next came another 8. So at this 8, we got some interesting things going on here. Collect $11 and lose 10, pay 21. This player, mid-press player, would collect a green, go up to 300. This one would collect 100 and go up to 1200. And then this power press player is already maxed out, so they're going to collect 3000 for 200. And same thing with this power press player. They are already maxed out, so they can only throw in 200 and collect their $3,000. Now after this 8 came a 7 out, so the roll was over. Okay, so I know both these players threw in $4, $7 a few times, so realistically, I'm just, even though they definitely threw in far less than 25, I'm going to take $25 away from each of them, just so we can show. So the iron cross player, now again, remember, nobody in this roll made more than $150 because nobody had a strategy. They would have a couple numbers they would place, and then that was it. Same bet, same bet, same bet, same bet. So let's take a look at what some of the standard strategies would have made. So an iron cross player in this instance, and again, this was only a 12 to 14 minute roll, so it was a good roll, it was a great roll, but it wasn't anything that just blows the doors off as far as, holy cow, we're throwing a duker here. Iron cross player would have made $163. That's not too shabby. Not too shabby on a $51 investment on their or $61 investment on their iron cross. The mid-presser that started out at table minimum would have made $422. Pretty good, starting out at 64 across. That's not too shabby at all. Mid-press player that started out in the green, started out with 160 across, would have made $696. It's really good starting out 160 across. They would have made $696. Power presser that started out at 64 across would have made $3,167. $3,167 started at 64 across. This is why dealers power press, because we see these kind of rolls multiple times throughout the night. Power presser that started out in the green, started out at 160 across, would have made $6,024. $6,024 off a 20 roll hand that had some remarkable rolls. It's this 8 that really did it for him. Remarkable roll, but also less than 15-minute roll. Hope you guys find this interesting, amusing, entertaining, enlightening. Thank you very much for watching. We will catch you guys next time. Bye now.